So I've just added an Xbox 360 to my game collection. It's something I've wanted to add for a while. As soon as I got my gaming shelf put together, I knew that there was going to be space for an Xbox 360. So far since picking it up, I've been having a lot of fun, and so I thought I'd make a video going over what it's been like so far. Hey guys, how's it going? Steagle480 here, welcome back to another video. I'm so excited that I've got this 360 back. It's sat on my desk at the moment. I've been playing it a few times and yeah, already it's one of my favourite consoles in the collection. I did get a little video of me unboxing it. It was a bit rushed because I just filmed it as soon as I got the parcel after work. I'll show the unboxing clip and then we'll get into more details. I have just picked up this parcel from the InPost locker. It is the evening of a work night, which is why it's so dark today. But I've just picked this up and I wanted to quickly record opening it up. In my last video I mentioned I was also looking for an Xbox 360. And then I stumbled across this listing on Vinted. One of the reasons why I ended up going for quite cheap was because in the listing, the Xbox 360 didn't have a power cable. But when the seller was packing it up, they sent me a message to say that they found what they believe to be the power cable and they've tested it and it does power on with it, so they've included it. Now, if you know Xboxes, it's not like they just have, it's not like they just accept any old connector. So the fact that they found something and it does work implies it is the power supply for it. So let's open it up. I want to make sure everything's tested and working. What is this on top? Okay, so the first thing on top looks to be an Xbox power adapter. It does feel very light. There's no Microsoft or Xbox branding on it. This looks very much like a generic power adapter, so it may just be that that was the one that they had. The Xbox controller as well. The Xbox controller actually feels and looks very... Yeah, the Xbox controller actually feels really good. So that's a good sign at least. And then here's the last package. Damn. Here is the Xbox 360 as well. Holy. Okay, so as you saw in that unboxing, I've picked up an Xbox 360. It is working fine. It's a bit loud. I still haven't taken it apart and kind of cleaned it out. The power supply, which it is a third-party power supply, is very loud. It's got like a fan in it that just revs up. I'm potentially just going to get a first-party one at bare minimum. I'll take everything apart and dust it and clean it and things like that. Re-thermal paste the 360. But overall, it's awesome to have a 360 back again. When I set it back up, I've got it on my desk at the moment. I haven't integrated it into that setup yet. But going into it, making your avatar, it just takes me back to when I first booted this up back in, when would it have been? I don't know, 2006, 2007 when we first got one. Speaking of that, one thing I noticed is that it really doesn't feel as old as it is. Like when I set up some of those consoles, although they're still really fun to play, you definitely get the feeling that this is an old system. But the jump between PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360, that era, was so massive. I think it still feels like that, even going back to it now. And I know Halo Reach is a later game in the console's life cycle, but it just feels like a modern gaming experience. The only game I can think to compare it to is Jak 3 that I just finished off. It is a good game, it's enjoyable, but even with it being a late entry, it still feels like a PS2 game, whereas Halo Reach, the boundary's so kind of blurred, Most consoles, it's very obvious when a game is from that era. There are a lot of 360 games like that, especially the earlier stuff. But some of the later games, I mean, Halo Reach could easily have been a next-gen console game, I think. But yeah, with it set up on my desk, I've been really enjoying it. It's really nice. I never had it at a desk setup when I had one before. It was always in front of the TV, so having it at the desk is kind of cool. It feels like almost like having a gaming PC, but you're just playing it through the Xbox. So my game library is pretty low at the moment. In fact, I'll grab my game library. I'll show you. This is it. This is the whole library so far. I've just picked up... I've only been to CEX once since getting these. And my brother went to a car boot sale and he picked up some games. I'm actually missing Halo Reach from this pile. I don't know where my Halo Reach copy's gone. But yeah, Halo 3 ODST, Gears of War, all the good stuff. So why did I actually buy an Xbox 360? Well, the big reason is for this channel. Not just as something to show off in the collection and the shelf behind me, but mainly for capturing gameplay. So one of the big benefits of going for the Xbox 360, I think it's the Slim or the Xbox 360S, something like that, is that it has native HDMI out, so I can plug it directly into my capture card and then just record gameplay like that. Obviously, that's significantly easier than trying to get it set up on my consoles back there. That requires, I mean, I've tried to do it with some of the cheaper upscalers, but realistically, you need something like a RetroTink, something like that, which costs a lot of money. So there's a lot of other areas of my shelf that I want to improve, and spending like a couple £100 on a RetroTink just isn't in the area. I thought at least with the 360, it sits in that position where it's kind of in the retro gaming space, but still has native HDMI support, while also still being easy to connect to my CRT, which is obviously a big win. So being able to capture gameplay easily was one of the big reasons for me to get one. I had also seen a lot of other creators thinning out their Xbox 360 collections. I think there was a bit of a boom when the marketplace was shutting down and people just went a bit wild with 360, made massive collections, and I've seen quite a few videos of people getting rid of it, and I thought that sounds like a good time to buy to me, and that's probably one of the reasons why I got the console so cheap as well. Obviously with the 360 you have a massive games library. It was back when first party games like the Halo series had such a massive presence on the console, and obviously there's a huge array of cross-platform games as well. There's a few specific titles that I know the port is better on the 360, like Lost Planet is one I want to get. Lost Planet 1 and 2. I think both of them are better on the 360 than on the PS3. I also wanted to add a console that still has a little bit of online gaming. I know the PS2 does have a community for some games, but it seems a bit more organized and less just hop on whenever you want and find a lobby. With the Xbox Series, the newer ones, now they've got that emulation for the 360. I think there's a few games that actually do have some online players, and so you're more likely to actually just be able to do matchmaking and find a game. Well, that's what I'm hoping actually. I've not tested it yet, so hopefully that's the case. But it'd be cool to have something that sits on my shelf, hook up to CRT, but actually still get some online gaming. I think that'll be really cool. As I said, one of the big reasons why I got the 360 was native HDMI to make it easier to capture. So let's go see what that looks like. Jumping into some gameplay now. Off the bat, I think it looks really good. I think the graphics are a lot nicer than I thought they were going to be. I know you can't see this, but I'm actually playing it on a gaming monitor at the moment rather than my CRT. And even on this screen in 1080p, it still looks really good. I mean, I've used this same screen with a HDMI converter for my PS2, and obviously where that's lower resolution, it's really noticeable. But on the Xbox 360, I feel like this is a perfectly usable setup. Although I am going to get the connectors so I can plug it to my CRT, HDMI directly into a gaming monitor, it looks pretty good. I mean, I've been playing pretty much a PS2 for the last year or so moving to the next generation is like experiencing that generational jump all over again. I mean, even last night I was playing Ratchet & Clank and then jumping to play some Halo Reach this morning. The difference in graphics is massive. And even with those graphics, the performance is pretty good. I mean, obviously that's going to be different from game to game. Halo Reach here is generally quite smooth and consistent. There is definitely times where you get a frame drop. I personally would always reduce the settings to get higher frame rates. I'm not really someone that cares about graphics that much. But obviously where this is a console game, I don't have any settings to do that. The other thing I've noticed, although this is probably just because I'm playing it at a desk, so I'm quite close to the screen, lack of FOV controls is a bit annoying. I wish I could just increase it a little bit. If you're sat away from a screen, that's probably not going to be an issue anyway. But overall, I mean, the games look great. They run great. I mean, so far I've just been playing Halo 3 ODST, Halo Reach, and Gears of War, and all three of them look and play amazing. One thing I did notice, which is definitely just a me thing, I'm so not used to playing first-person shooters with a controller. I've been playing keyboard and mouse for so long, I'm really kind of out of practice with a controller. I've not actually changed the sensitivity yet. That might be something I need to do. But I remember playing this when it came out. I remember pinging headshots all the time, and now I'm struggling. I'm struggling to get those headshots, but I think I'm just not used to playing with a controller. Something about Halo Reach and the Halo games in particular, I really like how unbound certain areas are. Like, there's a part in the game that clearly doesn't want you to take a vehicle to the next section, but you can just line yourself up and then jump yourself over the barrier, and now you've got a ghost in a section that you definitely weren't supposed to have one in. So first impressions wise, it's been really good. The graphics are great. It's a significant jump from the PS2, obviously. And yeah, usability and gameplay wise, everything's really good. It doesn't feel like a 20-year-old console, 21-year-old console. It feels like a modern experience, really. The other reason I got it was to capture gameplay through the native HDMI, and as you can see on screen, I think it looks pretty good. There is a bit of a motion blur. I'm not sure exactly where that's coming from, whether that's something OBS is introducing, the capture card, or what, because in the game I didn't notice it to quite this extent. There is a bit of motion blur, but there's almost a bit of ghosting in the recording. I don't think it's too noticeable. It's just me because I'm experiencing it side by side pretty much. But overall, I think it looks really good. I mean, obviously it's not coming out at 1080p. It's being upscaled in OBS. But I don't think that's particularly noticeable. Around the text, if you look at the top of the screen where you have the compass, you do notice there is a little bit of blurriness. But if you compare it to the Battlefield stream I did on my PS2, I mean, that looks significantly more blurry than this. This is perfectly usable, as far as I'm concerned anyway. So far, everything I wanted it for has gone really well. I mean, the usability and gameplay is really good. The capturing ability is really good as well. It's plenty for what I need it for. The only other thing that I've not tested out yet is online gaming, but I think I'm going to do a separate video on that. But yeah, I'm really happy to have an Xbox 360 again, and it's definitely a big upgrade to my gaming collection. So that's going to be the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.